We're now going to invite in our next guest to further discuss. This is Jeffrey Tucker, founder and president of the Brownstone Institute and senior columnist for the Epoch Times. So, Jeffrey, thank you for joining us today. I'd like to talk about Giving Tuesday and America's tradition of philanthropy or giving to charity. Where does this idea come from, and why is giving to help others important?
The whole philanthropic sector is the third sector and the forgotten sector that drives forward social progress in American society, and that's always been true, even dating back to our founding. These days, people ask the question, what makes society better? And the first answer is, good government programs. The second answer is the financial commercial marketplace. But actually, a serious driving force in American history and in the present is what's called the third sector, which is really the philanthropic sector. People who believe in a good society, they have empathy, they believe in ideas, they believe in the arts, they believe in religion, and they give of their own free will. It's not the same as taxation, and they're not getting goods and services necessarily from it. They just believe in doing good, and this is essential to the American idea. It always has been. Alexis de Tocqueville wrote about this in the early 19th century, and he was astonished at the generosity of Americans. That even to this day, America is easily, hands down, the most generous country in the entire world, with a gigantic philanthropic sector that drives forward arts and ideology and philosophy and religion and everything else that we truly love. It's an essential part of the fabric of American society and an example to the world of how to do it right.
Jeffrey, can you talk to us a little bit about what is the difference between charity and the state or the government providing benefits to those in need?
Well, charitable organizations, private charitable organizations, tend to be better stewards of donor money. And they're looking for, not always, but most of the time, they're looking for results. And that means more than just, say, giving money away in a mechanistic way. The money comes with humane treatment alternatives, with a careful curation of the arts, with a desire to see human betterment take place. That's always been true. In the 19th century, for example, late 19th century, we had a massive immigration from all over the world into, especially into the Northeast, but really all over the country. And as a result, we had a major problem of a lack of schools and hospitals and orphanages and care homes for the elderly. Well, none of those were provided by government at all. They were all opened by sisters working for orders of nuns and other charitable organizations. And these organizations at the time were as big as major corporations are now, Microsoft or Apple. They were huge. And they built American schools and hospitals during that period. Later, during the Progressive era, most of these were gotten rid of, a combination of progressive taxation, the estate tax, and also government took over the services. Well, it turned out government wasn't nearly as good at providing the same services that the philanthropic sector was. But American philanthropy still survived, and today, without philanthropy, vast numbers of schools and hospitals, churches, and museums and art services would absolutely close without the generosity of the American donations. It's baked into our DNA. We've always believed in this sort of voluntarism and the power of charitable giving to drive forward good social outcomes. That's been true throughout our whole history, and it's true now. And most countries in the world cannot say that. As I said, America leads the world in philanthropy. That always has.
What would you say is the current state of efficiency for these charities? How much of the money actually goes to those people in need?
Okay, well, this is a serious question that many people have, because we've seen the emergence of many scandals over the last 5 or 10 years in which giant charities are taking in money based on legacy relationships with foundations that keep growing bigger because of the rise in financial markets, and they become themselves corrupted, and then dangerously politicized also. And we see many examples of this, and I've chronicled many of them. And I think it's a scandal because what they're doing is discrediting this hugely important part of American life. I run a nonprofit myself, and we're very scrupulous with the use of our money and not wasting it and trying to achieve the mission. And I do this in part because I want to redeem the reputations of nonprofit organizations following countless scandals that have emerged over the last 5 or 10 years. This is very dangerous. But I've seen data recently that apparently these scandals have not really affected the confidence that Americans have in philanthropy as a way forward. I believe even Epoch Times is a nonprofit organization that accepts donations and lives off those donations. But it's true for many other alternative media outlets. And it's extremely important that people continue to believe in the power of philanthropy and charity and their capacity to give of their time, their talents, and their treasure to causes that are bigger than their own self-interest in order to keep American society thriving and growing and progressing and doing good for the world.
And Jeffrey, can I just ask you for your comments on Michael and Susan Dell's contribution to Trump accounts? I think $6.5 or $6.25 billion, $250 each for millions of children. What message is this sending? Is it a good message that families will receive?
Well, these kinds of donations, you can look at it darkly and cynically and say, oh, well, they're just trying to be fashionable. They're just trying to grab headlines and get invited to the right parties and this kind of stuff. Which, I mean, okay, let's say that's true. It still says something great about American society that we celebrate our philanthropists, that we celebrate generous, outrageously generous donations. That's a good thing about America, that we love the donors to the symphonies and to the foundations that help children, that sort of thing. That is valorized in American society. Yes, the rich are better at it than anybody else, and sometimes giving away that level of money is designed to kind of, maybe it's an ostentatious display of charity. But again, that's nice that we live in a society that does celebrate these kind of big donations. And I think it's all to the good. I think it's wonderful, actually, and indeed inspiring.
Yeah, and we were streaming this White House event, and I mean, it seemed to me that the two were pretty happy to give $6.25 billion. It just seemed to me.
That's a great thing. I mean,
all right.
We should all be so fortunate, right?
Yeah, like Trump said, it's not a small amount. Well, Jeffrey, thank you for speaking with us. We really appreciate your time.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.